Hello my beautiful friends! Welcome back to our channel. My name is Felice and I'm one of the spiritual advisors for the Relationship Psychics. So today I'm very excited and delightful because we are going to be doing a reading on what you can do to truly trust this person and what steps you should take to fully give your 100% trust to them. So before we begin, a quick reminder that now is the perfect time to download our app called Mystica Psychic Readings. So to use on the app, guys, we're offering you a free credit worth $5. And in order to redeem the $5 of your first psychic reading, all you must do is download our app using the link in the description box below. It is very great since many of our fantastic psychics are already there. So check out the app and make sure to introduce yourselves. Also, make sure to check out our TikTok and Instagram accounts for everyday free readings, so you can follow us at the Relationship Psychics. And before we begin, a quick reminder that these general readings should be taken with a grain of salt. As I always say, if it doesn't apply, just let it fly. So now guys, it's the perfect time to choose the card that appeals to you the most. You know, the one that is really calling you, calling the needs of your being, and calling the needs of your soul. So make sure to trust your intuition with choosing your cards. So here we have card number 1, card number 2, and lastly card number 3. Now I'll give you the moment to feel the energies of these cards and the crystals above. Hi group number 1, as I've mentioned earlier, we will be doing a reading today which is very vulnerable. So stay tuned on what can you do to trust your person, okay? And here, we are going to be using the Power of Love deck for our reading today. So I hope that this crystal, this tiger eye crystal will help us, deliver what messages, to receive the messages that your higher beings are trying to tell you today. So let's see what your cards are before we begin our readings. So in here, it says peacefulness. You recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. Elevation, you're making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. And lastly, so here you have discernment. You're developing the skill to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. Okay, group number 1. So again, the passages are, you recognize that balance, kindness, and love bring calmness to your soul. Well, for the second passage in here, you are making the conscious decision to raise your vibration of love. Okay, so lastly, the passage in here is you are developing the skill to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. So in here, it says believing in something, in someone is very difficult, It can be difficult as allowing oneself to fall in love. Okay, we sometimes think that the measure of a strong and a successful relationship is the amount of love that we feel for that person and their reciprocation, how they give back to us the love that we deserve. Okay, however, in here, these 3 cards, it is not necessarily about love, It could be about that trust. The trust may be the foundation for this relationship, for this connection. So with trust, guys, it starts your love journey. If you want to love someone, you really need to put your all into it. It is more of 2 choices, like discernment. So you are either for that person or against that person. So you are in love with them or you are not. But here in these cards, I can already see that you recognize in here the positives and the negatives of this connection you are in. So you're being cautious, and being smart with giving your trust and with giving your love to them. So I can say that you're doing a very great job. So just continue doing what you are currently doing, okay? So it is okay to build your walls up, you know? Just take the time that you need in order to fully trust the person you have in mind. And again, just take your time because trust is a decision. So the feeling of love may inspire you to move forward with the relationship, but again, trust is a decision. Okay, if you want to care for someone, you have to start by trusting that person. And you need to believe that they will not intentionally harm you, okay, and that they will be there to care for you in the same way that you care for them. So, trust is a solid quality and it gives birth to honesty and integrity in here. So, trust allows you to focus on the great thing you already have in your relationship, with your relationship. Because many times, guys, we attempt to ignore the good things that we have in our lives and focus on things that may or may not be real in our lives. So by taking active steps in focusing on these aspects, on these parts of our relationship that have value, this will strengthen our relationship through active trust. Okay, so trust risks exposing us to issues of truth, and it can be scary. But going through that path, approaching that with a solid foundation, alongside with our partners, with your partners, helps us to build authenticity and strength of its connection. Okay, so that's where peacefulness, elevation, and discernment will be helpful for you. Okay, because trust offers you the chance to put a stop to the relationship or to steer it forward. Okay, similar to the two decisions, to trust or not to trust, you have an option of moving forward with the relationship or putting a stop in this relationship or in this connection. So if you have decided to trust your partner, you are likely willing to improve yourself and improve the relationship that you are in. So if you discard trust, you discard the guide along the path that helps you through these difficult times. So what is left? So let's see what additional love messages we have for you, group number 1. So in here, with the help of our Lover's Oracle deck, as you can see, so what advice do your higher beings has for you to say? Just shuffle this one for you, group number 1. So in here, for your first Lover's Oracle card, so manifesting miracles, your dream is soon to become reality. Trust your heart and continue to follow its guidance. So with manifesting, with discernment in here, developing the skill. So for your second card in here, so let's see, criticizing one another will only lead to further unhappiness. Love and accept each other as you are, and your relationship will magically transform. So in this one, you're making the conscious decision, to raise your vibration of love, to raise this connection magically. And lastly, so life is a series of constantly shifting cycles. When we resist change, we resist the natural flow of life and create unnecessary stress. So just go with the flow and you will be surprised where it leads. So that's about it, guys, and I hope you liked and learned from this one, from our reading today. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Thank you very much for sharing this time and space with me. Love and light as always, and I hope to see you all at my future readings. Goodbye, group number 1. Hi, group number 2. So as I've mentioned earlier, in this reading, is a very, very vulnerable reading. So, on what you can do to trust your person. Okay, so that's our reading for today. And we are going to be using the Power of Love deck for our reading today. So, for you, second group, so in here you choose this crystal. Okay, so this is the red eye crystal, and I hope the cards beneath this crystal will help us, receive and deliver the messages that your higher beings are trying to tell you on how to trust this person. Okay? So let's begin. So for your first card, group number 2, so self-love, you realize that love of self is necessary to love another. And then harmony, so you're able to feel a loving balance connection with everything. And lastly, so creativity, you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. So again, the passages are, you realize that love of self is necessary to love another. And for your second passage in here, you're able to feel a loving, balanced connection with everything. And lastly, you love to devise new ideas, innovations, and forms of illumination. So in here, from good communication to honesty, and commitment, there are many factors that go into building a very healthy, and a very fulfilling relationship or connection. Okay? But there's one factor of a successful relationship or connection which many people still fail to recognize. It is our relationship with ourselves, like in this first card. So, while the way you think, feel and talk to yourself may seem independent to the relationships you share with others, the two are actually naturally linked, okay? They're very connected. And while taking time away from your partner or friends, may feel like an unreasonable way to develop your bond, nurturing your relationship with yourself, and can make a very huge difference, a very big difference to your relationship satisfaction or being at peace with yourselves. So, especially your trust in here with the person you are in relationship with, or the person you are with connection. Here again, so self-love, it allows you to fill up your cup so that you have the energy you need to invest in this relationship, in this connection. With developing self-love in here, you also develop harmony and creativity. Okay? So you don't question the genuinity of the person you are with and the love that this person gives you. So with self-love in here, you also develop creativity. You think of new ways on how to express your love for each other, especially if you are in a long-term relationship. So the idea in here of practicing self-love can sometimes seem a little wishy-washy, but it's a lot simpler than it may seem. Okay, so some ideas may include checking in with yourself on a regular basis. Ask yourself how you're feeling, creating space for your needs and your desires to come to the surface, and create the opportunity to really listen, to really tune in to what is not working well for you. And make sure to take yourself on solo dates. So in here, creating space for self-love and self-awareness, practices is hugely beneficial to your mental health as well as the health of your partnership, of this connection. So getting on the same page does wonders for your connection. And again, this all starts with self-love. Okay, group number 2. So, let's see what additional love messages we have for you with the help of this Lover's Oracle deck. So, what advice do your higher beings has for you? So, let me just shuffle this one. Then we'll proceed with the advices. So this one's your first advice. So let's see. So sexual union, honor the place in one another where you are one internal soul, for there you will find true bliss. So in here it says that honoring one another, so that may be a feeling of balance connection with this person, that you're being able to feel the love and this connection. Okay? So let's see in here. So soulmate, your soulmate is already with you in spirit. Believe this and they will manifest physically. So on how you manifest this person, on how to manifest your soulmate, again, it will start with self-love. And in there, creativity will follow and the harmony itself. And lastly, let's see. So surrender. At times, we must surrender the old before something new can enter our lives. So let go and all will work out. Okay, so again, in here you have the cards of self-love, harmony, creativity, sexual union, soulmate, and surrender. Okay? So again, with what can you do on trusting this person? Start with self-love. From there, you will develop the harmony and creativity that you need to really trust, to truly invest in this connection. And these are the advices that you must cling to. Okay? So that's about it, guys. I hope you like and learned from this reading today. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And thank you very much for sharing this time and space with me. So love and light as always. I hope to see you all at my future readings. Goodbye, group number 2. Hi, group number 3. So as I've mentioned earlier, we will be doing a reading today, which is very, very vulnerable. So on what can you do to trust your person? So we're going to be using the Power of Love deck for our reading today. So for you, group number 3, in here, you choose this crystal, this amethyst crystal. So I hope that the messages, the cards beneath this crystal will help us get the very clear ones, the very clear messages that the higher beings are trying to communicate with us. Okay? So let me just put that one in there, that amethyst crystal, and then let's proceed with your first card. So as you can see, it says responsibility. You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love that you express. So ownership, you acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them all as lessons. So patience, you're able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. In here, as the cards suggest, you should take responsibility, acknowledge your misdeeds, and have patience, okay? Slowly learn to own up to your mistakes. That's responsibility. So to apologize when messing up instead of twisting the scenario inside your mind to make the other person into the bad guy. Okay? So saying sorry more, explaining yourself more, and making sure that the conflicts you face or problems you face be resolved Again, in here, try your very, very best to see the situations from points of view other than your own. So it must be that you should take a step back and examine things logically instead of immediately reacting with your heart. Okay, so realizing your actions have consequences and you cannot be completely selfish. Okay, so even if it seems like everyone else in the world, only cares about themselves, you guys should not follow into their footsteps. You should aim to do better. You should aim to stay kind to your partners, because you're slowly learning to take responsibility for stuff you did, because the blame should not be placed somewhere else. Okay? So instead of complaining about how these obstacles may always come your way, you should always as well take a step back and take responsibility if any of it is really your fault, because no one else is going to take care of you. If you want something from this universe, you have to earn it yourself. Okay? Nothing is going to get handed to you. Your dreams are not going to magically come true overnight. You need to put in the hours, you need to put in the effort, you need to do your very best every day, because slacking would only hurt yourself. Okay, so slowly learn to make better choices that will benefit your body, your mental state, and your relationships, because what you do today in here will impact tomorrow. And I know you want to create a fulfilling future for yourselves. Okay, so let's see what additional messages we have for you today, group number 3. So in here, with the help of this Lover's Oracle deck, so what advices do your higher beings have for you? So let me just shuffle this one, then let's proceed with the readings of their advices to you. So okay, group number 3, for your first advice in here. So let's see. Time, you are trying too hard, just give it time. In here it says something of this sort. So patience, let the universal energy of transformation, move accordingly on its own, with loving rhythm. So give it time, don't try too hard. Okay, so it's in the cards for you, just have patience. So for your second card in here, second advice, it is important right now to take a step back, spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give it to yourself. So in here, as you take a step back, like what I've said earlier, make sure to acknowledge your misdeeds, and if you have accomplishments alike, acknowledge them and learn to resolve, and learn to love them all as your lessons, because that's where your truest power will come from. From taking a step back and reflecting on the stuff or events that has happened in the past or in the present moment. And lastly, so wait, don't rush into it, allow nature to take its course. So again, like in here, it says time, the alignment with this one is really undoubtedly. So in here, time and wait. And for your third card in here, it says patience. Again, your cards are responsibility, ownership, patience, time, taking a step back, and just wait. So all these cards are trying to say, just wait for the moment, have patience, and let the universal energy, take its own path on its own, okay? So that's about it, guys. I hope you liked and learned from this reading today. And if you did, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And thank you very much for sharing this time and space with me. Love and light as always. And I hope to see you all at my future readings. Goodbye, group number 3.